Now, I get it's difficult for me to sit over here in the wonderful, beautiful Midwest, Wisconsin area and truly understand everything that is another culture, in particular, one so far away and as cloaked and complicated as China. But it would appear they are very sensitive. And I don't mean Chinese people. Obviously, I think that it's unfair to kind of just say, China, you know. It's the government. It isn't the people, I imagine, that are agreeing with this. It is a country that is allowed a free pass on a lot of things because of their economic value. But now, after South Park pokes fun at them, they got a little sensey. They got a little sensitive. And before we get into that, quick word from this video's sponsor. I just wanted to take a quick second to talk about a product I've been using recently that offered to sponsor this video. Dashlane. Dashlane is a cross-platform password manager and digital identity application that makes it easy to manage everything. They autofill all your personal info like addresses, credit cards, and passwords. They also generate super secure passwords, plus all the passwords that you do store with them are encrypted, making their password manager the safest place to store your info. Dashlane can be your one-stop shop for your digital identity by managing all of your passwords so you don't have to keep track of each one, your personal info and financials, making your digital life safe and more secure. Dashlane works across all devices, including Apple products, PC, Android, Safari, and Chrome. Give it a try free on your first device. Head to dashlane.com/quartering. Now, South Park is no stranger to a bit of controversy, a bit of spice, but they pretty much roast everyone evenly. Now, after their latest episode, which went after or took a few shots at the band in China, like a musical band episode, mocked Hollywood for shaping its content to please China, Beijing has responded by deleting all clips, episodes, and discussions of the show. What a great point. Matt Stone, Trey Parker, they are true bastions of free speech, and it's sad that their show is trapped on such a horrible network as Comedy Central, as they could probably take a deep look at their own shows that precede and come after South Park as real problems as well. But I still love them anyway. The most recent episode of Banned in China has been generating loads of media attention for its sharp critique of the way Hollywood tends to shape its content to avoid offending Chinese government censors in any way whatsoever. Now, we see this not just in modern media with Marvel films and things like that, but we also see it in video games. I covered, a video or a huge story earlier today on Blizzard and the many things that they've done to appease the Chinese market, including but not limited to removing black players or black characters from video games. Cursory pursuit through China's highly regulated internet landscape shows the show conspicuously absent everywhere it's recently had a presence. Search for Twitter like social media services, Weibo, turns up not a single mention among the billions of past posts on streaming services Youku, owned by internet giant Alibaba. All links to the clips, episode, and even full seasons of the show are now gone. And Baidu's Taiba, sorry for mispronouncing everything, I'm sure I am. The largest online discussion platform, the threads and subthreads related to South Park are now non-functional. If users manually type in the URL, what was formerly South Park thread, a message appears that says, according to relevant law and regulation, this section is not temporarily open. The draconian response is par for the course to China's authoritarian government, which has been known to aggressively censor shows like Winnie the Pooh because some local internet users had affectionately taken to comparing the president to the character. On Monday afternoon, creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker issued a statement with a full apology for the ban. It read, quote, "Like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censors into our homes and into our hearts." The statement reads, "We too love money more than freedom and democracy. Zai doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh at all." Tune in to our 300th episode this Wednesday at 10. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May the autumn sorghum harvest be bountiful. We good now, China. Or we good now, China. Their show, Banned in China, featured a pair of storylines critical of China. One involves Randy getting caught in an attempt to sell spices and getting sent to a work camp similar to ones that exist now. While he's at the work camp, he runs into imprisoned Winnie the Pooh. The second plot follows Stan, Jimmy, Kenny, and Butters, forming a metal band, which becomes popular and attracts the attention of a manager who wants to make a film about them, but the script keeps changing so that it can safely be distributed in China. And honestly, the clip that South Park put up is so good. If you read the GIF, it goes, all right, well, you know what they say. You got to lower your ideals of freedom if you want to suck on the warm teat of China. Truer words could not be spoken, and it's absolutely true, including to what the NBA does, and it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting, especially, okay, as an American citizen, somebody who takes our First Amendment very seriously. To see giant, super huge mega corporations pander for money is one thing. But to betray creative freedom, to betray the freedom of speech in exchange for money is just as bad as not having it all. Well, probably not just as bad, but you get what I'm saying. They're betraying the rights that this country has fought for and trading it for money, which is one of the most disgusting things anyone can do. South Park's creator, according to the New York Times, offer fake apology after show was erased in China. Hong Kong South Park long-running Comedy Central cartoon, whose mockery has spared few touchy subjects, was erased from major platforms in China after an episode last week taunted Chinese censors and the far-reaching effort they often have on American entertainment. Look, not that I agree in any capacity with what China's doing to their own citizens in terms of censorship and some of the other horrible things we've heard about. But when it starts infecting the United States entertainment, it's really problematic. Just look up the way that they change John Boyega in the Star Wars poster. They literally had him prominently featured as a black man here in the United States. In China, he was like, his skin was lightened and he was also moved down to the bottom corner. Why does Disney accept that if only for the money? And it only proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, whether you're Blizzard, whether you're Disney, whether you're the NBA, you don't care about any of the stuff you're constantly virtue signaling on Twitter about inclusion and you know, this pride this and this history month that. You don't care about any of it because you'll trade it all in for money. You don't even need to dig deep to see some of the horrendous things going on there, but you don't care. You're willing to take that money. And South Park apparently is the only show with the stones enough to point it out. You don't see any major media covering this type of stuff in the entertainment world. Sometimes the news will cover it. I mean, this does appear on the New York Times while it's still around. But for the most part, especially in the video game world, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the disconnect where you have giant, super huge mega corporations going full-on Pride Month here in the United States, but then removing that type of thing from their products in China and Asia, in certain spots in Asia, and that's okay. Nobody calls them out on that because they're too busy accepting internet backpats for retweeting their virtue signaling posts. These corporations don't care about you. They don't care about personal liberty. They don't care about human rights. They care about money. And look, if you accept that and you're okay, cool, you know, you want to just see your watered down movies so that China can play it, that's up to you. But it's not a standard that I'm happy with and not one that I want to accept. Once I started getting educated on what, for example, the Marvel films were doing here in the Western markets just to appeal to the Chinese markets, I became grossly disinterested in what Marvel and Disney had to say about literally anything. And I really strongly reconsidered ever giving them any money for movies either, because I just don't understand or support this type of behavior. You have plenty of money to be made here. Why water down your product just to support it over there? We see this in video games where they're removing slot machines or images of blood or all these other things that are, what do they say, not harmonious or something like that? What's the creepy language they use? And here we have, I will say, kudos to South Park for airing it, but I'm sorry, Comedy Central. But we all know Comedy Central would fold up and is really, really going to be in trouble once South Park is over. Searches were also fruitless. The censorship occurred as the NBA was unintentionally demonstrating how protecting business interests in China can chill speech back in the United States. The Basketball League has scrambled to contain backlash in China. China since Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, tweeted support last week for the Hong Kong protest. Good for him, too, by the way. And shame on the NBA for ever trying to suppress his right to say that, which are rivaled by the Chinese government, of course. Though the league has supported political expression by its players, it was less supportive of the owner, prompting accusations that it valued its business in China more than free speech. Pathetic. Kudos to another excellent episode of South Park. And I'm sure the people of China will find a way to see this episode. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you share it far and wide. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Above, you'll find some links to watch more videos, as well as a nice big button to subscribe, which I hope you'll do. If you did enjoy it, make sure before you go that you leave a like and a comment on the video, because you are the #1 reason this channel continues to grow, and I appreciate you.